Hello everyone, and welcome to TTV episode 315. I'm trying to get the name order. I forgot about it. There it is. Quickly, I'm Eljay.
He's a madman. Help us, save us. He's a madman. Help us, save us.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Is that bingo board where we're gonna set the name order?
No. Oh yeah, you're right.
The name, there's
Prpl.
only four people here. The name order cannot possibly be messed up this week.
I'm Prpl.
And it's immediately messed up.
Anyway, so back to like.
I'm Takuma.
Really,
Oh my. Where have
really
you?
not wanting to be here.
That's Eljay, that's Var, and that's
I already
Prpl, and
said
I'm
my
Hayley.
name. Don't, no, how dare you? You're the only
My
one who didn't
brother's
say
here
your
too.
freaking name.
Hi.
Oh.
Say hi to my brother, you guys.
Hi, my brother.
Hi.
You guys.
Hi.
Oh
Anyway,
Hello.
my gosh.
Wait,
Say hi.
Takuma!
hi Takuma.
Hi.
This is a...
What is-
okay.
what-
All right.
What
Yeah.
is going on? Why is this the worst intro yet? What's going on? This should not be so dumb.
Okay, let's go ahead and recenter ourselves. Obviously, we're here for a good time. First, Prpl, you have what I assume to be a clone of yours here, and I don't know why.
Yeah. He just wanted to say hi.
Oh, okay. Hello, Prpl clone.
Why did you wait until like a moment where there would have been like a natural time to say hi instead of when there's
I
nothing but
wanted to
chaos?
get it over with.
Okay.
Reasonable. Second, Takuma,
It's not.
where have you freaking been? We've been here waiting for you on time, and you're late.
Me?
Takuma.
Oh.
Prpl, I swear.
Wait. You were waiting for me?
I mean,
God,
you
I'm
were
so
just
annoyed.
talking to me. And then you started going off about that. I was
He
like, what?
said Takuma.
I didn't hear him.
Obviously.
Right.
I want to die.
Now, hold
Oh,
on.
we need Meso back.
No, we don't.
Call him.
All right.
Nah, he's at work.
But it's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna check. I'm
The
gonna...
perfect time to call him.
No, don't.
Everyone spam mess up.
We need spam.
So
Oh wait, no.
I want
he's-
to let everybody. He is in the chat. I want to let everybody listening to this podcast know that we have immediately started it off on the wrong foot, and I'm already annoyed at everybody here.
And why is that?
So-
Why is that?
Well, I was in a good mood, but then like, just
It's my fault. Don't worry, it's okay.
immediately, I went from being in a great mood to an annoyed mood because no one remembers Luke's Fooglies.
Why?
Okay.
No one remembers.
I
Okay.
remember.
It's not so much that no one remembered the Floop Fooglies thing, but all right. So I brought up. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I brought up
Oh, yeah.
how there are creepy things in the original Spy Kids movies called the Floop Fooglies, right? And I kept trying to say like, because one of our patrons posted a funny image in the chat, and I was like, "Oh my god, it looks like what is it called? The thing from Spy Kids." And freaking, I don't know if the Prpl or Hayley, one of them was like the thumb things, and I'm like, "No,
We both were.
not the stupid thumb things. It's the name is escaping me. You mean the thumb things? No, not the thumb things. The fooglies, the floops fooglies. Oh, so the thumb things? No,
Thumb things are called thumbs. It's not that
Not-
hard.
the freaking thumb things. I'm so annoyed.
Okay.
I can't even.
I have not seen that movie for roughly over 5 years. Of course, I'm not gonna remember that.
It's been long.
That's it? Only 5?
years?
I was gonna say it's been longer than that for me, and I remember plenty.
15 or
Like I said,
13 years.
it's not so much that no one remembered them. It's that after saying no to the thumb things the first 3 times, you'd think that would stop being a suggestion.
Okay. So what?
Obviously, I'm not talking about the stupid thumb things.
What had happened was that
I'm
You
struggling.
sure?
I'm struggling not to swear. I gotta be honest with you.
I can tell.
I'm so upset about this.
Oh my gosh. These are the kind of things you get angry at. That's okay, Var. You know what? Just to make it up
It
to
doesn't
you.
help that Floop's Fooglies are already like they start with the letter F, so it's already priming me to say swear words.
Well, it's like thumb. I'm done. So, we'll just relax. How's everyone's week been since the last
It's been
podcast?
fine, I guess.
That's
It's been a
fun
while
things.
since I've been on a
Past
podcast.
week.
Yeah, it has been. It's like the last week when we did the podcast, Prpl, like right after we were done, you showed up.
Yep.
So good job.
2 hours too
my
late.
God, it got even creepier too, guys.
Oh,
Because
no.
do you remember how at the end of the movie, not only do their parents go missing, but then he converts his dad into a Floogly.
Oh gosh.
Do you remember that? He turns his dad into one. Like, it not only does he turn his dad into one, he turns it into the one that he draws, like his fan creation.
Oh my god.
That
Oh, you
is-
were saying he and his, and I was starting to get confused about
Oh.
what. I was like, I didn't think we ever met Floop's father.
No, not Floops. He turns Junie's father into
Yeah.
to Foogly. But
Yeah.
it's so screwed up because he turned his dad into his OC character. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Until
It's so
Ultimate
effed
drama
up, dude.
OC.
It's so effed up. That whole movie is ridiculous. I'm still traumatized by it.
and the
should
fact
watch
that
it.
they're saying everything backwards, and it's Floop is a madman. Help us save
Yes,
us.
exactly. I have nightmares about that scene, dude.
Oh, really?
Yes. Look at this screenshot and tell me that this is not the most traumatizing thing you could ever see.
I mean, in all fairness, I've seen more
That
traumatizing
thing
things.
was his father.
All right, I'll put this on screen. Everyone.
Var, that thing is his father, okay? Everyone's beautiful on the inside.
Dude,
Everyone,
It's
this is his
traumatizing.
father.
this movie is messed up. to
It
the
is
10th
messed
degree.
up. It's a very weird film. All of them are really weird films.
Oh my god. And they set up how all these people have gone missing, and you're like, where could they have gone? And it turns out they were these monsters the whole time. Ugh. Anyway.
Oh gosh.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show the images that kind of prompted this conversation. So our patron...
Eljay.
I haven't seen the second one yet. And that was a mistake. Okay. So our patron Wadden posted 2 images. So first, excuse me. First here is Mem, M-E-E-M. And
Pronounced meme, get it right.
and here is Sos, S-O-O-S. And this is what
Zeus.
prompted this. Gosh dang it. This is what prompted this conversation. Wadden has now posted his newest monstrosities. Eljay, which is a cyclops,
Ellie.
and Eljay.
Eljay.
These
Get
are
these right.
these.
Wouldn't it be Yay?
Where's Yagley?
Right here.
That's just the image inverted.
Oh, Eljay's worst nightmare.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
thought Eljay's worst nightmare was gluten.
yeah, that too. I can't go to
Especially that.
I can't go to any pizza shops. So before we move on, I'd just like to remind
You
everyone.
guys remember how Floop's finger freaking had a face on it and could talk?
No, I don't remember that.
Wait, what was that again?
His finger, like,
Oh, that, yeah.
like, what is this movie?
Are we sure this wasn't a Tim Burton movie?
Right?
We're
It's
pretty sure.
horrifying.
Okay, that is something
This is the
I didn't
scariest
know.
horror movie I've ever seen.
I did not realize. So I was familiar with Spy Kids, and I was familiar with Machete. I've never seen a Machete movie, but I knew they existed with Danny Trejo. I did not
Wait,
know.
like a spin-off?
I did not know. Yeah, the Machete film series comes from Spy Kids. I did not realize that.
I didn't know there was a film series.
Yeah, Machete. Yeah, and it's nothing like Spy Kids. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't realize that was the progression. I thought it would be the opposite. Ugh.
What would Bert and Ernie look like if they were Fooglies? The answer is here.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
not
What
posting that.
the-
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Oh, but dude, it's Bert and Ernie.
I'm gonna leave that there. I didn't.
It's a good thing I ate breakfast 2 hours ago.
All right, guys, if you want to see it, just Google Bert, Ernie. This gave me nightmares.
Okay, do not do that.
Maybe
don't
we
do
don't.
that.
Maybe we don't.
No! We're moving on now. Alright, so, Biocraft shirts. If you're listening to this live, then you have one more day to pick up your Biocraft Chronicles shirt. Thank you to everyone who has purchased some. It's been great. The reception's been wonderful. And the design is by our very own Zeros, who did an absolutely stellar job with it. And it's up for one more day, and then it's going to be going away for a little bit, and maybe come back in potentially a few
Now,
months. It's going to be a long time.
One more day for the live stream viewers or for the video release?
For the live stream viewers. By the time this video
so if
comes
you're
out...
watching this after the video, it's too late.
Yeah, that is correct.
Suckers.
But they will return, just not for a while. So, that is that. Again, everyone, thanks for watching Biocraft. Over the weekend, last weekend, it actually hit over 10,000 views. So, thank you all so very much for watching it and enjoying it.
What are we sitting at right now?
14, I believe.
Yeah. We're about to hit 15.
Yeah.
14,697.
Nice.
All right. What was the other thing? So the other thing that happened since last week is because last week we talked about, and I can't believe we got to talk to Meso about getting these episodes out sooner because the episode isn't even out yet from last week, and we're already doing this one.
Nice.
So last week we talked about Christian Faber and his project, I guess. The thing he's working on, this BION thing. So project is on. If there's a way we could go back and... Oh my god.
Nararan? Nararan.
Oh gosh. Here, everyone, behold. I'll let you figure out which is which. I'm done saying these names. Oh my gosh. They're hideous.
It only gets more disturbing.
I like how Vardrav has one arm and it's connected at both ends.
You're like a
The most useless arm.
3 legs.
you're like-
sticking out of the back.
It's like if only you could get around the rope, you'd be the perfect zip liner.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like the Oscar statue.
With the arms,
weirdly
you remind me of
reminds
a...
me of that,
Oscar
like-
ran.
This weirdly reminds me of that one image of me as a girl. You guys remember that?
Oh, I
Vaguely.
No, I
vaguely-
don't.
Very
Yeah.
vaguely remember this, but
There's like that one
so
like
long
face app that like morphed my it would morph my face into like what I would look like as a woman or something, and I was like weirdly hot.
I vaguely
Weirdly hot.
Yeah, I was like weirdly hot.
It was weird.
Let's see if I can find it.
Okay. In the meantime, so we're talking about Christian Faber's new initiative to do something we don't really know yet. And over the week,
To do something.
he posted a new photo over on Instagram. And the photo's on screen now. And, oh gosh, let me go ahead and get the specific post. There we go. So he says this, quote, "You have been dreaming for an eternity. Amazing stories of light and darkness, shaping your mind like a stream carves the rock. You know all and nothing the moment before waking." End quote. Hashtag 14B2020.
The Power of Waking, Kingdom Hearts 3.
So, what we see here is this icy landscape. You have these large glaciers, a volcano erupting in the background, and a canister, a rusted canister, in the foreground.
I found it.
Oh dear goodness.
Whoa.
Oh dang.
I make for a way better woman.
I will post this.
I
Anyway.
cannot. I
There's
cannot.
the actress you look like. I'm trying to remember who though.
I'm
You know, you got it. You're right.
not.
I can't put a finger on it, but yeah, there's definitely someone. She looks like.
All right. Girl Duran. Oh no.
Girl to red.
That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Staying out of this. So, Christian Faber posts this, and of course everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's a canister!" There's been this secondary reaction that is driving me bonkers, where everyone is trying to read into every shape in this photo. Like off to the left, there's this shape, there's this hole in the glacier, and someone is like, "Look, it's the island of Matsnui, but it's flipped." And someone is trying to say there's some shape or detail in the rust, or there's like a person in the glacier on the right. And like all of these different things. And it's like a lot of stretches are happening here. What do you guys think about this?
Is there shape of the body on the mask?
It's, hey, look, guys, I see Matsnui.
And this reminds me of there was like I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was like some kind of like oh, you can see the Mask of Light in the poster for G2 or something.
It was, I think, I want to say it was the island of Matsnui in the center of the Mask of Creation.
That's what.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah, you could see that the mask of or the island of Matanui in the creation mask. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely a stretch.
Yeah. I think it was even Meso that
Blown
was
out.
pushing that one.
Hmm.
I actually remember this.
Yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of reading into this. And I just... See, this is the thing I was talking about last week. It just... Faber is posting these things to do something we don't understand that he isn't elaborating on. And it's just people are kind of just accepting it, and they're getting really excited about something. But we don't have anything. There's nothing concrete here. And since Meso isn't here now to jump at me for this, I
You're
just
not a
don't...
true fan, Eljay.
I just don't think there's anything super exciting here. It's... I just don't.
It's really pretty concept art for an unknown concept.
So,
It's not even that pretty.
so here's the thing about the concept art that bothers me. So if you actually look at the picture in high
Makes me
resolution,
impressed.
so not on this podcast, I'll go ahead and post it in
Link
the
it on
live
the
chat.
Insta. Yep.
So this is the image. What you notice is the background it's not blurry. It's a lower resolution. It is a lower quality than the canister. That's very different from it just being like glossy and blurred or whatever. It's actively a lower resolution than the canister. The canister is very out of place in this image.
The weird thing is that like the iceberg was obviously ripped from a different image and placed into this, and then like the volcano looks like it was painted by hand, but then like another like iceberg looking formation was placed in front of that, so you have all kinds of varieties of resolutions in this image.
Yeah, it looks, and I understand that's kind of a part of certain processes when doing concept art. Like I totally get that. It's just
Sure.
so I have a hypothesis, and I have no way of knowing whether or not this is true or not. My thought process here, what I believe this actually is not anything specifically done for this. I don't think that this is... I feel like this background is retooled. What we know about Rebel nature is that it's very environmentally focused. So it's focused on the environment, it's focused on the world, it's focused on pollution, and so on and so forth. What we see here is a glacial area with glaciers, icebergs. There's a lot of water, and there's a volcano. Heat, icebergs, water. This, to me, feels like it's either unused or discarded Rebel Nature concept art to discuss global warming that is being retooled and repurposed for this specifically, to have the canister in the foreground, which is why it feels so massively out of place. I have no way of knowing that. That is just a headcanon.
I have a different theory. And that it goes on what Christian Faber actually said in the comments after the fact, which was posted here on Discord, I believe, at some point.
The one on our video?
No, not the one on our video.
Okay.
He posted it like in the in the Instagram post. I'm trying to see if I can figure out where it was posted so I can quote it directly. Here it is. Meso actually posted it. Or no, you posted it. Anyway, so on the picture, a guy named Quick Wiser posted, yes, the good old low-quality backdrops and crisp CGI art in the foreground. Memories. And then Faber actually responded to that and said, maybe it is from back then, ...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I think the reason it's so weird is because it's old. It's an old image. It's concept art for G1.
That's possible. I mean, it is possible. The problem is, Faber is, like, really cryptic for no good reason. It's like...
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
If you want to have a mystery, it's an artificial mystery. It's like, we have these photos, we're left to our assumptions, but the mystery is, what does Faber mean? What is Faber's goal? What is Faber up to? And instead
it
of
doesn't help that English isn't his first language, so trying to decipher his cryptic messages is already more difficult than it should be.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's just, to me, it's a little frustrating. Because I do want to know, of course, but so many people are just, they're really going in on this and being like, yeah, I'm super stoked. It's something Faber's doing. It's like, okay, that's no reason. You keep supporting it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't have anything to be excited about yet. Like, I don't have anything tangible.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's quite annoying to be going to this whole cryptic, like, rigmarole all over again.
Yeah.
Would rather he just be quiet about it for right now until there's actually something substantial to show or make news about. Though, yeah. I know part of the idea here is to try and gauge, like, attention and get people to respond and to be excited, because that's part of the plan, I'm assuming, is to show Lego that there are people dedicated to Bionicle that would be excited for its return.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the YouTube
I presume.
In the YouTube live chat, Luxaritas, I believe that is how that is pronounced. I apologize if it isn't. Says, quote, no good reason, end quote, well, he also can't promise anything. He doesn't want to announce anything that won't happen. He wants to gauge interest.
Which is why he should just be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's essentially what I was going to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, he has announced something. He's announced a project that he's trying to work on. And he's riling Bionicle fans up because it's BIO, BION. What if it's from way back then? It's a canister floating in the water in this kind of weird mystic area. It's a mystery. What if it's from back then? B 2020? Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious.
I had a conversation with Kevin Hinkle the other day on his backlog building stream, which is a ton of fun. I highly recommend checking those out. Art of Kevin Hinkle, or Mr. Hinkle Draws, rather. Art of Kevin Hinkle is his Twitter account. And he's been watching all this a little bit, and he feels that if Faber was going to go through with this, he should probably not be posting any of this. It's like this isn't really the
That's
best.
what I keep thinking. I feel like this entire strategy would actually undermine the goal of trying to get this to work because he's like spilling the beans far in advance before any plans are ready, and that's not usually how Lego works. It's like counter leaking almost. It's like leaking before there are actual leaks, but because you're leaking the idea that there could be leaks, and I don't know. It's just a big flood of leaks.
Yeah.
So it doesn't set a good precedent to establish the line on. But I don't know. I don't want to be the downer that crashes the parade, because obviously, everyone wants to see Bionicle with a good treatment done, with justice and stuff, and actually have a good line to warrant our fandom. But I don't know.
Yeah.
This plan, I don't know. It just seems like it's getting everybody's hopes up for nothing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That was kind of my point last time. It's like you can be interested, you can be excited, you can be supportive. Just don't get too invested, because we don't have actually anything. We have 3 pictures. Two of those pictures are letters. This picture is nostalgic concept art. We have 3 pictures. There are no concrete plans. Faber has said that he's trying to garner interest. He will go to Lego with this, but he isn't working with Lego on anything right now. I think it's reasonable enough to say, let's just temper our expectations a little bit. And Faber did actually comment on the video Meso made, so at least between Faber and I, one of us has watched Meso's video. And Faber said, "Thanks 1000 for this video. Great insights and thoughts. My most important mission is to bring story back to the lead position. Good and relevant story goes before everything, even product. Storytelling / world building, to me, is much like a ship sailing into unknown water. Every crew member is important, and the goal is survival and hopefully new land. I see myself as a kind of navigator trying to point out a course to get into safe waters. You are the irreplaceable crew, and we all know the past, but the future is the field we need to play."
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very nice comment, and I appreciate that he watched the video. The problem is, he's also completely ignored every attempt Meso and I have made to reach out to him. He's not really that interested in answering any questions, even the ones that ask about rebel nature, which I have asked about. I don't know how this affects rebel nature, because, heck, I still don't really know what rebel nature is.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't really know how it would affect rebel nature at this point in time. If he is gung-ho about going through with this plan, then obviously it would, but at the same time, the plan itself isn't really locked in. Lego hasn't confirmed or denied or decided to go with anything at all, so it really depends on how far it goes for it to affect rebel nature. So, I'm sure if Bionicle were to come back and the plan did work, then yeah, rebel nature would be kind of sidelined for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't think he has an answer to that question yet.
Yeah. And
that really comes down to why he's avoiding answering questions to begin with and being so cryptic, is because in reality he doesn't have any answers. He doesn't have anything to tell us.
Yeah.
There's nothing set in stone yet. you know, and that's part of why this whole thing is so frustrating, because the vagueness and the crypticness gives the implication that there's more to it that has yet to be revealed, when I doubt that there is.
Yeah. I don't know. So again, like I said last time, and I agree with you, Var, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer either. However, I do want to come at this from a little bit of a skeptical point of view. Let's just wait and see. We just don't know. We don't have anything to get excited about right yet.
We just don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know.
We just don't know.
So, obviously there are some people in the chat that are going, "Hey, I'm just here to appreciate the art." That's perfectly understandable.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's-
fine. I mean that's part of the message I was trying to give too. It's like just show your support for right now. Like we don't know what's going on, so don't get too excited. But it's okay to say like, hey, yeah, I mean, if Bionicle were to come back, then that is something that I would like to be a part of.
Yeah, and that's fair. Perfectly
Just
reasonable.
don't go into it thinking Bionicle's going to come back because there's nothing. No one is saying that.
Yeah. I'm going at it from a little more of a, one might argue, a realistic standpoint. Others would argue a pessimistic standpoint. I'm coming at it from the angle that there isn't going to be anything from
Yeah.
this.
Well, I mean, I think there's definitely a time and a place to be optimistic, and I don't think that, unfortunately, Bionicle is one of those times because we have already been burned before. So
Yeah. And I definitely don't...
It'd be different if G2 hadn't happened before. Then I would be more of an optimist in regards to the situation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we didn't have G2, right now we'd be looking at 9 years since it was canned. No, sorry, 10 years. It was canned in 2009. Then I'd be definitely going, ooh, now we have
now's
something
the
to
perfect
think
time
about.
for a reboot.
Yes. But no.
But since we already got a reboot only a couple of years ago, yeah, it's just unlikely at this point in time.
I think
Rip.
this year is going to be 3 years since G2 was canned.
Good grief. It's been 3 years already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It feels like just yesterday.
July, August 2016. So,
Man.
yeah. But anyway, so we'll wait and see. And, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to understand, even if you doubt that Bionicle is going to come back, it doesn't make you not a true Bionicle fan. Okay? There we go. So,
Anyone that plays the "you're not a true fan" card is instantly wrong, no matter what they're trying to say.
yeah, no.
So
there's,
dumb.
yeah. If you're joking about it, that's one thing. But
You see, you say that, and yet, back in the day, like, probably around 10 years ago, I started that True Fans of Bionicle Club in the BCP blogs. You remember that?
I
Well, you were instantly wrong.
Yeah, no, but you see, the thing is, we were saying that the true fan doesn't, like, call out other people as not being fans.
Yeah, nobody does that.
I mean,
It's an elitist standpoint.
Like,
No,
you can't, like,
nobody
you
should be
can't,
trying to say
it
you're
was
not a fan of
specifically saying
something.
you can't say that someone can't like I was about to say Hero Craft. What the heck is it called?
Hero
Hero Factory. Same diff.
But
It was specifically saying you don't have to like this, you don't have to like that, you don't have to like not like other things. But yeah, that started a storm.
Now, Takuma, let's say you're a member of this group, True Bionicle fans, and one of the rules is you can't call someone not a true fan of Bionicle for liking something else. But if somebody did, would that make
That wasn't
them
a rule.
not a true fan?
That wasn't a rule.
Oh. Okay.
all right.
So, well,
But when I hear someone say that, you're not a true fan, all I hear is that person saying you're not a fan like me. That's all I hear. So it's not like, you're not a true fan. It's basically
I mean,
being very...
Sure, that'd be fine if that was the language they were actually using, but
yeah. No, that
No, I was
Well,
just
we
saying
don't
if you
wanna
want
say it, but
yeah. My whole message was if you say you're a fan, you're a fan.
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But again, be supportive. I'm not saying don't be supportive of this. Obviously, support Faber in his endeavors. I think that's great. I've wanted to with Rebel Nature, even though I don't know what it is, because I think he's a cool guy. I've wanted to talk to him. I wanted to ask questions about Rebel Nature, but he's notoriously reclusive when it comes to the community. But definitely be supportive. Nobody is ever going to discourage that. Just don't get invested. Not yet. So we'll keep everyone up to date on things as things progress. During all that, I actually would like to give a special shout out to Brother from Another Brick, who is so kind enough to give us a super chat donation. So thank you so very, very much, Brother from Another Brick. And by the way, do we have like a standing rule if anyone does a super chat, then we would and they had a message with it, we would read the message off? I don't know if that's a thing we do.
wait,
I don't see why
what was the
not.
question?
Like
As long as the message is appropriate.
like if somebody puts in a super chat on YouTube and they have a question with it, do we just read that off on the podcast?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I don't see the problem with that.
All right, great, excellent. So there you go. Okay, so that basically covers that. Unless anyone else has any other thoughts.
Well, Tyler's putting his thought in right now.
All right, I will.
He's already had his thoughts.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of thoughts.
They're showing up on the video right now in the chat. So.
Yeah. So there's his thoughts if you want to read it. Go ahead.
Yep, there you go. Okay, so something else happened over the week, over the week and weekend, and that is.
Oh no, I see. It's just Mesa going back to his pessimistic standard. I see.
Mr. Pasternak.
Immediately disappointed.
Really? Okay, now I have to read this. All right. If Faber is still being talked about, my opinions are that while I was initially willing to support him, and I still am, that was under the assumption that he would be using this advertising campaign and community interaction to gather concrete feedback and make a solid plan. Vague posting and posting pointless cryptic art just burns the goodwill candle from both ends, IMO. As cool as it might be, it's achieving nothing. It's not gathering feedback for a potential Bionicle reboot, and it's not announcing his plans like his logo did. It's just creating ethereal hype.
See, now here's the thing that confuses me is because he's saying this as though this is new, but that's all Faber has been doing the whole time.
The first one is not pleasurable to look at.
Well, I would hope not.
So glad that it's off my screen. Oh, envy.
It's killing me. I will.
Someone add him, please, before it vanishes.
Everyone, I want you to burn this into your mind. This is Tenebrae Invictus. This is his true form. I'm gonna just keep it at the blob. All right. But yeah, no, it's like this is what Faber has been doing the entire time.
Yeah.
And like this is even what I was saying last week before he
Exactly.
hit me with a 2x4.
I don't know what Mesa was talking about or what he's doing. Mesa's a weird guy.
Yes.
I don't know how you do it, Hayley. I don't know.
I mean, I'm weird too, so.
I just
But
don't.
you're like reasonable sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm just super.
You know, I said that and then I immediately realized.
Haley's just as unreasonable as Meso is, except she's super optimistic and Meso's super pessimistic.
We balance ourselves out nicely. It's like the karmic seesaw.
Okay.
See.
I was thinking of like base versus acid for some reason. I don't know why I put you two on the pH scale, but there you go.
I mean, that works too.
Although, when you combine a base and an acid, you get salt, so maybe it does work out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I like this one comment from Kytrax Malgum. I hope I got that right. Let me see. Oh, sorry. No. Sevs the Nothing, who says he just hasn't been the same since G2. And this is absolutely true.
For why? That's literally the face, though. Oh my!
Yeah, everyone,
There's literally a face in there. Did you not see the face?
Everyone, this is our host, Tenebrae Invictus, and this, I have no idea what this is, but here
It's
you
his
go.
anime adaptation.
This is Envy still. Alright.
It looks like Kingpin, but weirdly.
Yeah, Wadden, I got that. But yeah, no, Mesa really has not been the same since G2. G2 kind of hurt him. Even if he doesn't like to admit it.
He needs therapy for G2.
So, alright. So the other thing that happened outside of Bionicle was Star Wars 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
What a terrible, terrible title.
So there
I am
was...
so underwhelmed for this movie.
Same.
I'm not even...
Looks pretty though.
Like, do
I'm
we need this?
fascinated.
Gorgeous.
I'm fascinated by all the people who like have immediately gone back to being super hyped for Star Wars again, just with the trailer alone, when the trailer showed nothing but vagueness and neat shots.
What?
That's all I really care about.
I am so uninterested in this movie. I didn't see the last movie in theaters. I waited until it came out on DVD.
That's your mistake.
No, it really isn't. It trust me.
See?
If I spent $20, no, I don't care about the stupid
Slam into
ship.
the other one at light speed in a theater.
Seeing the ship
was...
ruin the entire franchise. I
No,
wanted
it's not
to see
that.
that.
It's the silence.
I don't
the silence
care.
and everybody in like gasping at the same time.
That was a good moment in the movie.
That was a
good
very
moment.
very good moment.
Cool moment.
That
I don't
was
care
one of
about
those
seeing it in
moments you have to
theaters.
watch in theaters.
I'm not going to pay $20 to watch that in a movie theater. That's my thing.
You paid $20 to see a movie in a movie theater?
$20?
Sorry.
I
did I say
pay
something?
to get food.
That's like 3 times the amount that I pay.
Well,
No,
Sorry.
I'm going to see it for $6.
fair enough. I pay around 10. So,
Yeah, there you go.
I meant to say 10, not 20. But even still, I'm not paying $10 to see the last freaking Jedi in a movie theater. That would make me so angry. The movie already...
Last freaking Jedi.
The movie already...
Episode
made me-
8.5.
The last freaking Jedi, followed by the rise of freaking Skywalker.
I mean, I'd watch that.
The Force.
I mean,
freaking
if that's what the title actually was, I would probably definitely see
The
the movie.
Phantom freaking Menace.
Rise of the
Revenge
freaking
of the
Skywalker.
freaking Sith. The last freaking hope.
Sounds like a Star Wars review
Return
series.
of the freaking
Yeah.
Empire.
The Clone freaking Wars.
It's just...
Freaking Clone Wars.
Attack of the freaking clones.
Freaking Solo.
freaking... No.
Rogue freaking one. I like it.
Yeah, this is good.
Do we
But
miss
yeah,
any?
I felt like the trailer
freaking
was
Force
so
Unleashed.
I feel like the trailer was so anticlimactic to that title.
And the whole thing.
Like
is
it kind of
Wait,
like
really?
the trailer. Yeah.
I thought the title was anticlimactic for the
Well,
trailer.
yeah. Well, the trailer like built up to what the title was, kind of like how they tried to do the same thing with Endgame, but the title just didn't stick. It was
Yeah,
like,
well, for Endgame it was awesome. For this,
What?
it was like,
Yeah,
this
it
is
was like,
so
what?
lame.
like it could have been awesome if it was a better name. It'd have been like, oh yes, I'm so hyped. But it's like the rise of Skywalker. It's like this scene from Shazam when he's like, say my name, and he's like, what's your name? Shazam, and you're like, what?
It sounds like a fanfic title.
It does.
It does. It does.
It
Well, I
does.
mean, this entire trilogy has been nothing but a fanfic. So,
Fair.
but yeah, you're absolutely right. I did like the trailer. I just think the title is terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the trailer.
Of course,
was
I also
fine.
thought The Last Jedi's title was terrible as well. The Force Awakens
Ah.
has been the only title that I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love the title for The Last Jedi.
No, it's so
It
dumb.
just sounds.
It
I mean, it has
sound-
nothing to do with
it
the movie,
sounds
but it just
just
sounds like a
as
good
fanfic.
movie title.
No.
Nah.
In all fairness,
Especially coming
It's
at like
better than
it
Rise of
sounded like it sounded like such a generic title, especially coming after like The Last Night from Transformers. Like literally,
Okay,
like
yeah.
the title was announced like immediately after that movie. It was so dumb.
Maybe that's what they need to save the Star Wars trilogy is to bring in Optimus Prime.
So, I
They
mean,
just need Bionicle and they'll be good.
to be fair, please do not do.
I don't want to
not.
bring Bionicle down to that.
Yeah, no. In all fairness, no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say another annoying aspect that I have about the title is that it's another one of those dumb titles like The Last Jedi that they've intentionally worded in a really weird way to be as vague as possible so that
Mhm.
you can speculate as to what it's referring to. Like The Last Jedi, they did that thing where they're like, who is the Last Jedi? Is it Luke? Is it Rey? Is Jedi plural or is it singular? We just don't know.
They're trying to debate us without putting in the work.
Yeah.
Right. So they're doing the same thing here. Where it's like, oh, who is the Skywalker? Is it Luke? Is it Anakin? Is it Rey?
Is it Kylo?
Is it
Kylo?
Chewie?
Yeah.
Is it that small tiny droid?
Is it a name or is it a title of a character? Or maybe it's a faction. We just don't know.
It's no longer Jedi. They're Skywalkers now.
Yeah, like it's dumb. It's so intentionally vague for the sake of vague. It's like Faber. It's Christian Faber came up with this title.
The Rise of Rebel. Yeah.
The Rise of Rebel.
Yeah. I have a very low investment in Star Wars as a franchise. The coolest thing to me was always just General Grievous, and not because I thought he was this massively compelling character. It's because he flipped Jedi into walls and had 4 freaking lightsabers that spun around. It was so cool. So this obviously has not gotten me excited for absolutely anything, and especially not after The Last Jedi, which I feel might have been the worst movie watching experience I've ever had because of the film. Ever.
Yeah, when The Force Awakens was first announced, I really liked the advertising campaign because it hit all the right nostalgic beats without actually telling you anything about the movie, which is really good marketing, I felt at the time. But then The Last Jedi kind of ruined that goodwill in a way, like because it was able to do the same thing where they never really told you what the movie was about, but still hit those nostalgic beats. It got you in the seat for the movie. But then you watch the plot, and it's a terrible, terrible plot. So now I'm like, well, previously I liked the vague advertising, but now I'm like, I can't trust the trailer because I don't know like if the movie's gonna be good from the trailer alone now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
The trailer might as well have been like live action concept art.
It might as well have been, yeah. It's just like it doesn't tell us anything
It
about
needs to
the
have
movie.
some substance.
There's no way to know what the quality of the film is going to be like. Obviously, it looks beautiful, but all 3 movies have looked beautiful. There's no question about that. Every movie's had amazing moments. There have been spectacular, like great shots.
I think
Yeah, but it doesn't make the movie good, unfortunately.
I know. The cinematography in these are probably some of the best cinematography we've seen in like action blockbuster movies so far. They just put so much.
I agree. And then the framing, the camera work, the art direction, it's all great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's not saved by the plot.
Yeah. So
no, Wadden, no.
Which is unfortunate. So like that yeah. So I don't know. I want the movie to be good because I do not like disliking Star Wars. It's a very not happy feeling because Star Wars is cool. I like Star Wars a lot.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I don't like Star Wars though. So
I maintain that if the only thing you really experience out of Star Wars is the movies, then you're getting the worst Star Wars experience.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
That's a very good way to put it, because I know that there are a lot of really good games. I saw a tweet yesterday, and someone had taken that GIF from the trailer, the teaser trailer, I guess I should specify, of Kylo with his lightsaber, and he takes the hilt and he just slams it into a dude and slams him to the ground. And somebody tweeted that out, and they said, Kylo Ren is the most well-written, dynamic character in the entire Star Wars franchise.
I mean... I don't know. Out of the sequel trilogy, I could agree, but not out of the franchise.
Yeah, franchise. And it's like, did you play the games? I didn't, but I hear they're really good.
Which games?
Oh gosh, it was the
I mean,
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old
games are good.
Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, both excellent stories.
None of them are canon now, though.
Nope,
No,
they're
which
not.
sucks. Republic Commando, also a really good
Also
game.
good. The first Force Unleashed
And
was
the
pretty
books.
good.
You know, I've started The Force Unleashed probably like 5 different times and never finished it. I don't know why, but I just never get too far through the game before I drop it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this film. There's a headline on an article that read how J.J. Abrams consulted with George Lucas to end the Skywalker saga. And like, oh, that's not inspiring. That's not something that people would go to and be like, Yeah, all right. Thank goodness we're saved. He's consulting George Lucas. Excellent. This'll be
Right.
like the prequels. No. It's like, ooh. No, in all fairness. We were ripping on the title earlier, and Blue Brick in the YouTube live chat said, well, any ideas for a better name? And Var, you
Oh yeah,
have...
I got a way better name.
I have to wait for the movie to figure it out.
I already made an image for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The rise of not just the men, but the women and the children too.
What much better title?
Episode 9.
I love this. The rise,
After-
not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Is it possible to read the line without hearing freaking Anakin's voice?
I love this.
I think it would have been better if you'd just gone with the sand meme instead.
The rise of sand. It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere.
Gets everywhere.
The rise of the high ground.
Freaking everywhere.
Yeah. The rise
but yeah,
of
no, I
Skywalker,
mean,
he finally got the high ground.
Obviously, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know what it's about yet, so I don't want to like put out titles that aren't going to be relevant to it. But I just think the title that they chose just sounds really lame. It just sounds super generic, super like, this is a movie. Watch our movie. It's the return of the rise
Do you
of
think
the
it's
revenge.
Do you think it's a case where, like the Xbox, where it was the working name, and then finally, like it went out with that name, and you're like, "Oh, whoops, we never picked the real name."
Yeah, it feels like that. It's just it's such a generic sounding name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way it's worded too is really awkward. Like the rise of Skywalker is just so
Like they
lame
could
sounding.
take the word Skywalker, it could mean something different in this film rather than like the actual lineage of Skywalker, but that's the only thing I think of that would save the title. But
Should just call it the Skyrise.
heh,
Like I guess because when I hear Skywalker, I think of the name, right? I think of
Yeah.
Luke. I think of Anakin. So like if it makes you like think of, okay, so Star Wars, the rise of Luke. Doesn't that sound lame?
yeah.
That
The
sounds
rise of Anakin.
lame.
Yeah. No.
You know, like now if it's a title, then it starts being a bit cooler, right? Like the rise of the Skywalker. Now that sounds cool, but they didn't add the "the" because
Yeah.
they're intentionally making it vague, so we don't know what it's actually referring to. So, I don't know.
The Rise of Luke sounds like a poorly done movie about college sports or something.
I can see the title being interesting if Skywalker's just become the name for all Force sensitive folks. Like that's one
Yeah.
thing, but right now, it's still
Yeah.
Well,
kinda
in that case, then I would have made the title "The Rise of the Skywalker," which does sound better
The rise
instead of "The Rise of Skywalker."
Yeah.
yeah.
I think at this point they don't want us to think that Skywalker is referring to something other than the people.
Exactly.
So they can't put the in there, so they're in like a little if that's what they're going to use with Skywalker.
Which is why the
they're
title
in
is
a-
dumb.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it.
Choose a different title.
Just yeah, exactly. Choose a different title.
Yeah. No, it's lame. It's super lame.
The Skywalker cometh.
Oh my gosh, what if... Okay, so obviously we've gotten into spoilers. If you've watched a trailer, great. I don't know, a lot of people, like even in our own chat, have been spoiling this. Or not spoiling, but spoiler tagging this. Listen, you're going to know exactly what this is if you watch the trailer, so watch the trailer. But if you haven't, this is going to get spoiled for you. So Darth Sidious is coming back.
Or it's implied.
He's confirmed.
at least.
His
No,
actor is confirmed to be in the movie.
No, it's not implied. He is coming back.
Yeah.
The actor literally walked out on stage after the trailer
And-
shut up.
Oh,
and asked him
Not
to play it
even
again.
that,
on stage.
but
They've confirmed his character is returning back.
yes, and he is
Oh.
reprising it.
I
So,
would have said it could be a flashback, but okay.
No,
No,
But if that's not the case, then that's
The
not
line
the case.
we heard in the trailer does not imply a flashback.
I mean, it
I don't even remember.
still
anymore.
very well could be a flashback, just something we never saw before.
Yeah.
We don't know what his involvement actually is.
we don't.
The implication is that it's going to be fairly important to the plot since he was the final thing that we heard before the title drop. but we don't know if he's going to be back as a return, like a live character, or as a Force ghost, or as a flashback. We just don't know. We just don't know.
We just don't.
What if
Sensing a theme here.
TTV podcast. The TTV podcast.
what if
313.
Snoke was
We
a
just don't
clone
know.
of Palpatine?
I mean,
That's why Palpatine wanted the clones.
here's okay. The whole thing with Snoke is so frustrating because he's just gosh. Okay, Snoke. is
No,
dumb.
we're not gonna have this.
That's just
yep.
beating a dead horse.
Yep. Trust me.
No.
I want it to die. Anyway, so he's coming back. The actor is reprising the character for I think the fifth time. No, sorry, seventh time. I'm not sure. And it's what if Skywalker refers to the rise of Palpatine because he's technically a Skywalker?
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm not doing it.
What?
That just sounds so plainly horrible.
I am going to.
Plain.
Oh, people are getting shivved. So it just to me it
It sounds like the cat's doing it too.
I'm gonna kill him.
No. Wait, is that where you are, Eljay?
Death to the kitty.
Your cat. Oh my god.
But yeah, so it'll certainly be fascinating, but we'll see. I hope the movie's good. There were some very beautiful shots in that trailer. Obviously, the music is hype as it always has been.
Mhm. So is Rey training in the beginning? Because
Oh,
the thing didn't fire at her, so I think she's training.
that's a good point. Like, why?
She was like-
well, I mean, why would he try to just crash into her?
Because if she's training, that means that the Frozen 2 teaser and this teaser started pretty much the same way.
All right, cat's dead.
Sorry, I had to say it.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. That would be nice to get some training scenes. That'll shut up the people who keep complaining about that.
Reasonable complaint. It gets worse every movie, every Skywalker.
Of all the complaints, I feel like that one's the needlessly like
Harsh.
harsh one. Yeah, like who cares?
I mean,
So stupid.
I don't know.
There are
I don't
plenty of
think that's
things wrong with the
unreasonable.
plot. There are It's not so much that it's not a flaw of the film. It's just how upset it makes people.
Like
That
it's
I
too
think
much
is
of a
unjustified.
priority.
Yeah, exactly. Out of all the things to complain about, Rey not having a scene where she's training enough for you to warrant her power set is just like such a silly thing to be that upset about.
The
Especially
problem
when she
is-
does get scenes where she is training. We just don't
Yeah.
see every single one of them.
The issue is when she does a bunch of really cool, like really immense stuff. We haven't seen enough to make that feel warranted. Like,
Mhm.
like
Oh,
at the-
no.
like- like
I
at-
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not saying that the complaint is not true. Like, it's obviously a flaw. It's just the level that it upsets people that I
fair
think
enough.
is silly.
Fair enough.
Like, people get so mad about Rey being a Mary Sue. It's so hilarious to me. Who cares? It's such a stupid thing to get that mad about. Anyway,
I know.
but yeah.
I have to
So-
wonder. I have to wonder how our opinions on this movie would be molded were it not for The Last Jedi. Like The Force Awakens was pretty much.
I mean, if The Last
cookie-cutter.
Jedi was a good movie, then this trailer would be very good.
Yes.
Yeah, but now
If The Last Jedi would be very good, well, how would this movie compare to Endgame?
this movie isn't comparing to Endgame.
Well, no, I'm saying if The Last Jedi was actually a good movie and it was super hype, and this is like the conclusion of the saga.
I'd still be more invested in Endgame because that's got like 10 years
Yeah.
of movies leading up to it.
I'm huge into Endgame, but this is also Star Wars too. So it's like it's a weird thing where these movies are coming out the same year. They both kind of have the same value in like their fan base because they're huge movies. Endgame is just bigger because they have more successful movies in the past.
I wouldn't say it's
I think
just that.
Last Jedi kind of killed the hype.
Well, okay. So apparently, so Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, I'm reasonably sure, says that Star Wars is taking a break after this film. We don't know for how long. It might be a year, might be 2 years, might be more years than that.
Was that not Kylo Ren's ship? That's just talking about the pilot being an imbecile. I'm just like, wasn't that Kylo Ren?
We don't know who it is. I still think she was
That's
training
what I thought it
because
was.
there's no other reason why a ship would be flying at her at that speed, doing absolutely nothing to dodge her. And she just kind of stands there like, okay, I'm about to do this. I'm going to do this.
Or maybe she was training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently it's not the same, but I could have sworn it was Kylo Ren's ship because Kylo Ren's ship has a pretty like unique design compared to other TIE fighters, and it looked more like that. But I don't have them like up at the moment to like compare and contrast all.
And I don't understand how there can be bad Star Wars movies. Like, can they not afford like good writers?
Right? Like, there's so much money behind the franchise. Just make a good movie.
Why can they not
Just, like,
afford
what are
good
they
writing?
doing?
It's just there's no excuse.
The fact that Ryan Johnson just turned in his first rough draft for the movie and they just went with it, like what?
That's
What?
it just
Where was the guy to say, hey, maybe you should take another like look at it? Just to
Another
make sure
pass?
it's good?
It-
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what is going on?
If you like The Last Jedi, that's perfectly fine, by the way. This isn't disparaging of anyone personally for enjoying the film. But holy crud, it's
I
not
only
well
like
written.
specific moments.
Like the
Like
movie just...
I honestly don't even know what the plot of The Last Jedi is. There's spaceships. Whoa.
Okay, I'll tell you. No, I will tell you the entire plot.
Best synopsis ever. I just imagine that on the back of like the Blu-ray case. Spaceship. Whoa.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of it's just they are at one planet. Bad guys follow good guys. The entire movie to another planet,
And they're-
and that's it.
Or
That's the
glorified
whole
glow
movie.
sticks.
The whole movie
And
is
glorified
just.
glow sticks.
I mean, a few glow sticks. The entire movie is just them moving from one planet to another, and then just kind of just
like
going through space.
I keep remembering all these random scenes from it. I'm like, wait, is this the same movie?
Yeah.
World's longest chase scene.
Yes.
It's not a well-written movie. It just isn't. Okay, but anyway.
Anyway, going back to the Endgame versus Rise of Skywalker point, Rise of Skywalker is a capstone for trilogy. I don't think, well, yeah. How do I say it's not just about the number of movies while also saying it's about the number of... I don't know.
I mean, it's about the build-up.
One is like, you're comparing like a war to an apocalypse, basically.
Yeah. I think because Infinity War ended the way it did, it made Endgame like 10 times bigger than it, than a movie. It's more than that. And because Last Jedi ended on such a bad note, it did the opposite to this one.
The
Like,
thing
if
is-
Endgame was coming out, like, Infinity War was so great because there's so many heroes, but it was like, this is another Avengers movie. And then Infinity War ended the way it did, and we're like, oh, okay. And then Endgame is now, like, such a big movie because of it. They did it right. Star Wars is doing it wrong.
Yeah, it is
Star
kind of
Wars could
interesting.
have done it.
It is kind of interesting how there's basically like not only is there a new Marvel film every year, but now there's multiple. Like there's like 3 every year,
Mhm.
and yet I feel more fatigued with Star Wars than I do Marvel.
I know,
That's
right?
Oh yeah.
Star Wars movies just aren't that good, I guess.
It's just that they just keep throwing out stinkers one after the other. It's like all right, well,
Yeah. Apparently, the auxiliary Star Wars films being annual, like Rogue One and Solo.
yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. No. A, that is totally gone. It was a bad idea to begin with, and B, it fatigued the franchise so much that it's taking a break after this film, according to Bob Iger.
Although, isn't the Mandalorian show still going to be a thing on the whatever the Disney Netflix thing is?
Yes, but that's a show. It's not a movie.
Yeah, that I'm actually looking forward to, though, because Mandalorian culture and stuff is actually interesting.
And it's got names like Jon Favreau from Chef and Taika Waititi attached. It's those two. We're hoping.
So Pilarcar brought up the thing that I've agreed with the most. And he said if JJ had directed the entire trilogy, it wouldn't be in this mess, which is absolutely correct.
Handedly.
I don't know what they are thinking with the making of these films. I just don't understand where like where the
They
the
think
person
that-
is to regulate where the direction is. It so obviously hasn't been planned out at all.
I
It's
think
just
that
throwing stuff at the wall.
recreating the work process of the original trilogy is what made it good, rather than just like the concept of the world itself.
Right, but see, I don't know. Like the original trilogy had different directors, sure, but there was always like a vision, like that tied everything together. There was always this end game. It was always about
They had the end game.
it had
The
the
end game is
Imagine they at least had
they had the Empire versus the Rebels and the like Luke becoming a Jedi, and
the
that
rise
was
of Skywalker.
that was the through line for every single movie.
Yeah.
There was a plan, So I don't know what's going on with this new trilogy where nothing seems to be going anywhere. There's no common thread.
Yeah, it kind of feels like with some of the past trilogies, they at least said, okay, there's going to be 3 movies, and we don't know exactly how things are going to go, but we know pretty much this is where the trilogy's going to start, this is where the trilogy's going to end. This time around, it seems like they're only thinking about the movie one at a time. It's like, okay, what happened in the last movie, and how do we continue that?
Yeah.
Or
They
do we
didn't
totally retcon it?
Even for the prequels, they had that end game. We knew where the end game was going, so it was us seeing where it was going. We as viewers knew what was going to happen, and this we have no clue what they're working for. Even in like the original trilogy, like we knew that Luke was going to become a Jedi. We knew that we're going to get that final battle. And this one is just all scattered everywhere. We don't know where their map is. We don't know what they're like. Is Rey going to become a Jedi? Is she going to become a Sith? Like what the heck? We don't know what's going on. So
the vision for the franchise just doesn't align. Like Rian Johnson had his own story he wanted to tell, and JJ had his own story that he wanted to tell, and neither one of them were relevant to each other at all. They just did their own thing. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't get it. Why isn't freaking Kathleen Kennedy or anyone in Disney like just going through this and being like, all right, here is our map. Here's the game plan.
Yeah.
Here's the start point. Here's the end point. You guys figure out how to get there. That's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
But we just don't know.
They were just too excited to make a Star Wars movie that they didn't do the proper preparation for it first.
I mean, I
one
think
outline.
I think Abrams did the proper preparation for it. It's just they
Yeah,
brought
he
in
did a great
Johnson
job
and
setting
just,
stuff.
Oh yeah.
I
But then it just got dropped. I don't know.
and the thing,
It's like that activity where like you do like the activity where you write like 10 words of a story, you pass it to another person, they write 10 words of the story, and then they pass it back. It's like they did that. It's like telephone
Fun.
storytelling, and
Except one person was writing sci-fi and one person was writing nonfiction.
yeah.
Gosh.
It's just when you actually think about what the movies did, the 2 films, like The Force Awakens, brought in new characters. It reestablished the world. It reestablished a threat. There are issues with that. Don't get me wrong. But those are just more contextual, informational issues that we just don't have access to. Whatever. Fine. New threat, new stakes, new planet-destroying item brings us to a new status quo.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi brought us from planet A to planet B, and that's it. It was just a location change for our characters. Maybe Rey got a little bit of it killed off Snoke for some reason, I guess. And it killed off Luke. Again, for some reason. And that's it. And I don't see Luke's death as a loss because Force ghosts exist. We didn't lose Yoda.
Also, his character was terrible in that movie, so it wasn't a loss.
But Takuma, it's the
Oh,
same
shut up.
character. It's so well written. People are flawed. It's just
Especially the people who wrote that movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, we just don't know.
We just don't
Anyway.
know.
Now that
anything
we've
else to talk
thoroughly
about in this
trashed
podcast?
Star Wars and we've thoroughly trashed Bionicle,
This
what
is
else
a
can
very
we?
negative podcast.
What can we
Let's
thoroughly trash?
trash Marvel.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's thoroughly trash Marvel now. Even though Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
was,
They
like,
canceled
2 to
Daredevil.
1.
I'm gonna trash this for sure.
Oh, yeah,
What was trashing?
Tyler's not here, so you get to talk about the Marvel TV shows at your disposal.
Oh
Laura.
my gosh, I forgot.
So
No.
He even mentioned it last night, and he says, and I was like, "Oh man, if only someone will be there to support you." And he's like, "Thanks, Hayley." I'm like, "Oh, did you think me?"
Oh my
Rude.
gosh! What? Why?
So
Pulling
yeah,
odds on him.
if anyone is somehow unaware, Disney has announced their plan for their new Netflix competitor, Disney Plus, and with that, they've also announced all the new content that's going to be coming to it as well. Now, the Disney Plus thing is actually pretty cool. I won't lie.
Yeah,
like
it's a good deal.
it's a neat idea, and it's a really really good deal. What was it, $6.99 a month? Like
I think
that's
so.
that's a steal. That's a great price.
For all
Yeah.
of Disney's
How long before that
catalog.
goes?
Yeah, all of Disney
All of
plus
it.
Fox.
And
Yeah,
oh, I
you're getting
forgot, and
Marvel
Fox.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
You get
Marvel
Marvel movies,
movies.
Disney movies, Disney content, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that you've associated with Disney, and also all the stuff that Disney has recently acquired. Basically, like it's a ton of stuff
This is them flexing.
for $6.99.
Flooding.
Yeah, they're
Disney's too
super
powerful.
flexing.
Yeah.
And you
They're,
can
they're so
download the
powerful they can
films.
give you good prices. So,
Yeah.
but with that comes a bunch of original content, which is good as well. Obviously, you want original stuff. But they did announce some of the stuff that is coming to Disney Plus, and among them are several Marvel TV shows. Now, Marvel's done TV before, and it has had different levels of success.
Huh.
This is different though, because now the TV shows and the films are finally actually connected for once. And several of these TV shows are not only just side plots, they're actually starring mainline characters from the cinematic
They all do.
universe.
They all do.
They all do,
All of
yeah.
them have,
So I believe there is the
Falcon
Winter
and
Soldier
Winter
and the Falcon.
Soldier.
Yep,
Sorry.
that's one show. There is a Hawkeye show. There's a
Mhm.
Loki show. And then the stupidest one of them all is a Wanda and Vision show
WandaVision.
called WandaVision, which is the dumbest freaking title I have ever heard in my life.
Even
aside
dumber
from
than Rise
the
of
Rise of the
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Yeah, it's,
Um,
I've got mixed feelings about that.
So I'm not excited about this at all. Which may
Isn't-
have come as a shock, I guess, because once Meso posted it, he seemed like super
Yeah.
happy about it. But I
These are limited series, right? They aren't like extensive TV shows.
I don't
They're
know.
Probably gonna be like
We
So
don't
yeah.
know.
6 or 8 episodes.
we
or
just we
We
just
just
don't know.
don't know.
See,
I'm sensing a theme here.
I hear about this and how it's got like the
That's the title for
mainline
this
actors and it's
podcast.
actually going to be connected to the story and stuff. And the first thing that comes to my mind is Bionicle,
Oh, as far as
Like,
the large
because
repertoire
Bionicle's
things you need to
story
go into.
was so all over the place, and you couldn't go to one source and get like an isolated story. Whereas before, sure, some people may have thought, "Oh, it sucks that you don't really see much of the movies in the show and stuff," but it's like, no, that's actually kind of good because then you don't have to go, when do I watch which movie versus which season of the show? And no, if you want a full cohesive story, you go to one place.
Right. So this is basically why I'm feeling really iffy about this plan. Because already there is so much Marvel movies coming. There's so many Marvel movies coming out at once that it's already a chore to keep up with. Now, I happen to be in the minority that loves everything Marvel and has been able to watch everything Marvel related, right?
Pretty
But
much.
there's tons of people though who aren't as invested, who are
Yeah.
already having a tough enough time keeping up with everything.
Oh yeah.
And now we're throwing TV shows into the mix, and it's not even side plots anymore. It's starring mainline characters that are going to be involved in these films, right? Like, so now, not only do you have to watch all the movies, but you have to watch, what is it, like 5 TV shows now?
And that's just now. That's just them introducing it. Like, imagine in like 5 years from now, we could have 10 other limited series based off of other side characters that they decide to do.
See, I don't know if this is
so-
really a bad thing. Because
It's-
The
it's
stories would
too
have to be like
much.
self-contained
like,
and
so
inconsequential.
much
non-essential
stuff.
for the movies, then I guess
Yeah, well,
it's
see,
fine. But
The stories would have to be inconsequential.
That's the problem. So this
Yeah.
is my issue with it, because it's a lose-lose either way, right? So the TV shows either have to be inconsequential, so they're not important, they don't matter to the films, in which case watching them seems kind of pointless and their existence is questioned, or they're really important and they do tie into the films, which is what everybody wanted, but now you have to watch them because if you don't, you're going to be confused going into the next Avengers movie, which is a huge chore. So it's like these introductions to these new shows brings in so many problems, and it wouldn't be as big of a deal if it was like one show, you know. But the fact that it's like 5 of them is what really kills it for me. Like, it's just too much crap.
The only thing that will save them is if they are good enough stories to be told. We don't know what stories they're going to tell yet. We don't know if they're prequels or they're, I guess, sequels to Endgame. But if they're good stories that establish characters that we don't really get to see, like with screen time, because they don't have the volume to make a full movie, and so they're giving them screen time here, then it could
Screen
be
time.
Yeah, screen. Did I say that wrong? Probably did.
Screen time.
Screen time.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this whole podcast has been.
Yeah.
Telecon brought up a point that I was oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Telecon brought up a point that I was kind of thinking as well. That the reason that they're doing these shows is because these characters aren't really going to be like main aspects of the films going forward, because after Endgame we're probably going to be moving into a different direction in terms of the cinematic universe, which means these characters are kind of getting sidelined and relegated to TV shows instead.
Yeah.
Which is what I think is actually going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately that also goes into the, well, these stories are inconsequential kind of thing, you know, where like, okay, well, if it doesn't matter to the films, what's really the point in watching them?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I'm sure they'll be good. Marvel's,
I believe they
got a
have
great
the
track
same
record.
budget as the movies, or very similar budgets. So that would,
It does kind of have like a G2 syndrome for me as well, where it's like I've been burned in the past already. I already got invested in Marvel TV that I was hoping would tie into the films, and it never happened, and then it just got canned halfway through development. So now, like, it's a similar thing where, like, I'm not really gung-ho about getting invested into a bunch of new TV shows again.
I was scrolling through the Marvel subreddit, Marvel Studios subreddit, and I find this news. This is a quote of Kevin Feige from Variety. The storylines of Disney Plus originals and Marvel films will converge and be part of the all-important canon for characters and franchises in a way that will, quote, significantly impact the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm out now. Yep. There you go.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Now you're forcing people. If you want to understand the full franchise, you have to watch these TV shows, which means you got to pay $7 a month to watch it. And
it's becoming Kingdom Hearts.
I'm actually scared of this for a completely different reason, and this is a little bit of film theory coming out.
Oh no!
It's been about 20 years since superhero genre has like exploded.
10.
It will die, and it will be gone very soon. And unfortunately, you put out more content that has to do with it, the faster it will burn out. So the more TV shows you make where you're forcing people to watch all of these people and stuff like that, you will burn people out. If it's not the hardcore fans, then you're going to burn out your actors first. And then if the actors burn out, and
I'm already feeling that fatigue.
So if people are burned out, including the actors, that means that you will burn out the MCU. And then once the MCU throws out a bad movie or a bad TV show, that's it.
So Meso,
and if
like
Marvel
he's
dies,
here.
Then, yeah, I know.
What
is he doing at work right now? Is
I'm
he
gonna
like
say-
hiding in like a?
I always
Is
wonder
he
this,
at
that
work
Meso is,
just
like,
not
typing.
working?
Yeah, like he's posting freaking.
Does he
paragraphs.
actually have a job, or is
He
this
does,
just another like
apparently.
elaborate ruse?
I don't know what he's doing.
So
Guess
he
I'm
I'm
says-
not convinced.
Fact of the matter is that while oversaturation and superhero fatigue is definitely a concern, the threshold for how much is too much varies person to person, and the addition of these shows, or however many more they decide to make,
I was talking about that.
will not be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the majority, considering we already know the MCU has like another 10 years plus X-Men.
See, I completely disagree with that. I think it will be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the majority.
Yeah.
The majority of people who are watching these films who aren't the people invested in every single thing
Mhm.
are the people who are getting burned out right now.
Yeah. Like Endgame is like such a big movie, mostly because of how Infinity War ended.
No,
You can put all the
mostly
success
because
on.
it's literally the end game. It's tying
But yeah.
everything up. If if
But yeah, but
Infinity
also
War
because
ended
we had
everything,
the end of Infinity War,
mm,
then it would have been that movie. Because if
I don't.
people are interested to see this movie because they want to see what happens
conclusion.
after they lose. Yeah, they want to see the conclusion.
I just don't think that it's because of Infinity War necessarily, because it's a cap on the last 21 films. Wholesale.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
mean-
same thing. Infinity War and Endgame are the same thing.
Yeah,
It's part 1 and part 2.
Endgame is literally a sequel. It like the
Yeah.
only Avengers sequel.
It
real
doesn't
sequel,
matter
so it's-
which part
Yeah.
of the ending you're choosing. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
I guess.
but because they broke it up
They
into
go
two,
hand in
yeah.
hand. You can't have Infinity War without Endgame. You can't have
Yeah.
Endgame without Infinity War.
If you see Infinity War, you have to see Endgame. That's
Yeah.
that's what they basically set up. Not
Yeah,
like
what-
Avengers. If
what
you
if I
see
want my
Avengers, you
downer
have to
ending?
watch Age of Ultron. That's not true.
What if I want my downer ending, huh?
So-
You don't know.
You are lying to yourself if you
You're
think
lying
that
to
the
yourself,
ending
yeah.
of Infinity War is a satisfying
ending.
conclusion to 10
Yeah.
years of.
I mean, it was originally the titles were part 1 and part 2.
Part 1, part 2.
They
Exactly.
changed that later.
That's why. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter which
Yep.
movie you're talking about.
Why,
Anyway,
I don't
continue
know.
your point, Haley.
But I forgot what my point was.
Yeah, I was trying
What was
to
I saying?
get Eldon to
Something
stop
about
derailing
what
you.
Oh,
you would do
I think that after Endgame, since it's such a cap on 10 years, and if they do not already set up in Endgame what the next 10 years could possibly be, or even hint at it, they're gonna lose.
Mhm.
Like,
it's going to be a major
Spider-Man
jumping
looks
off point.
interesting, and I guess Doctor Strange is also coming out next year. But
Oh, really?
those two
Wait,
movies
what?
put together doesn't exactly sound like a very good way to start off another phase. Because I think it's going to be Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and the Black Widow, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I think is the lineup. Those do not sound like a very
Holy
strong
cow.
way to open up another phase.
See, and
Unless they're going to stick in an X-Men, but I don't think they will.
it doesn't help either that this is the conclusion for the 10 years of investment that we
Yes.
put out, right? So, like,
Yeah.
we are going into Endgame with the goal of resolving the problems that have been established the past 10 years. But doing so, Marvel has already announced a bunch of other content that you now need to watch
Mhm.
that involves the characters that you thought their story was ending with this
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So that exhaustion is already there. Like, I'm already like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I was going in to wrap this up, and now there's 5 more shows I need to watch.
It's like when you
that's
watch-
the mentality.
When you watch the extended version of the third Lord of the Rings movie, there's like 5 different false endings.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like that.
For the record, I've only seen each Lord of the Rings movie once. It was always the extended version. That third movie just dragged on and on and
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's only so much, like, so long that a story can go for, you know? Like, it
Marvel
has to
needs
go
to be
somewhere. It has
smart
to end at
and
some
knows when to end. Marvel needs to know when to stop, because right now they don't look like they're even coming close to stopping.
Yeah. That's
And
why I don't
Yeah.
I don't like that there's 5 shows we have to watch, and I don't like that it's involving characters that we're invested with.
Mhm.
If it was new characters,
Oh yeah.
like if they told me that's why the Netflix stuff was so exciting, because it was new characters: Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the promise that they were connected to the universe. That's exciting. That's what I want to see. I want to see other stories, new people, different characters that are tied into this overarching narrative, not continuations of characters from the films that I now have to watch to keep up with what's going on. So, I don't know.
And yeah, these are just the first 4. So they could be doing, or they could be planning to do what you're saying, Var, where they introduce characters. Like they're thinking of introducing Hawkeye's protege and
Yeah, his daughter eventually becomes
daughter.
Hawkeye.
And
And-
that show, that's like a theory, or that's what I think they're gonna do.
No, that's
Don't-
exactly what they're going to do. It's
That's- yeah,
literally
so
the
they
show
might
is
be
him
doing that?
training his daughter.
I was just about to say, don't Scarlet Witch and Vision give birth to Wiccan?
What?
I can't tell if you're making a joke.
No,
Wicked the musical?
Wiccan. I think it's Wiccan or something. Unless I'm butchering the name or something.
So Voravax, I'm sorry, said, so you wanted Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Var? Yes and no. I wanted Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I wanted Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that actually did tie into the movies.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like that adopted child that no one wanted.
Well,
They did that for, like,
does
some
tie
seasons
into
and
the
then-
movies.
Now the show is actually great.
Yeah,
The show
it-
is a really
it, quote
good show.
unquote ties into the movies.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, okay, I mean, cake and eat it too.
No,
'Cause either it
listen.
does or it doesn't.
No, no,
Either it's
no,
essential or
listen,
it's supplemental.
Shield's the best example of something that they've done so far. It's the best one.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. I like Shield. Shield's a good first step.
Do you?
More Shield related stuff, or more Shield like kind of stuff, is what I'm
Mhm.
wanting.
Okay, no, never mind what I said.
I would like a show that's actually about someone that's, you know, cool and not just a bunch of nobodies from a company, like some big conglomerate.
One show, not 10.
Yeah, and I want one show, not 10. Exactly. Or 2 shows, not 10. You know, like I don't.
So
Runaways is a really cool show that would be really cool if it tied into the cinematic universe, because it introduces some very cool new characters from the comics and a very good story. Daredevil would have been a great one. Daredevil doesn't tie into anything though, you know, so like
yeah.
something that brings in new characters with their own power sets and their own stories and their own adventures that ties in. That's what I want. Not continuations of those stories from the films.
I don't know. I think that
We'll see.
so. First of all, Shield, it's not entirely one way. To address some of the comments in the chat, there is a point specifically where it directly affects something
Yeah.
that happens in Age of Ultron. So
Yeah, one time.
Yeah.
Yes, it is one time. But again,
And the
cake and eat
movies
it.
do
and
affect what
if
happens
it did
inside
it
of
more, then you
S.H.I.E.L.D. Like
risk-
Winter Soldier was. That was a great payoff with the Winter
Sure.
Soldier plus Shield.
Yeah.
That was. A
And
very
like I
good-
said,
yeah.
Shield's the best one. Shield does
Yeah.
it well. I just don't like Shield because I don't really care about Shield as a
Yes.
concept.
Dang shame.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I'm not interested in the spy BS
Well,
that's
yeah.
going on. It just doesn't really.
Well,
grip
they
me.
go way past that in like seasons 4 and 5.
I've seen the whole show. I know.
Oh, okay, fair.
And it doesn't grip me. I just don't care about these agents doing their missions. That it isn't. Quake is the most interesting character in that entire thing for me.
But Fitz.
Yeah, Quake and Coulson.
Yeah.
Because Coulson.
Well, see, even Coulson, because Coulson's just a guy. That's the thing. I don't care
No.
about Shield. They're just people.
Like here's this guy that is like doing all of this. Like he's literally like just a guy who's considered quote unquote an Avenger. He's come back from the dead. Like he's been
It's
through
not-
a whole bunch of
It's
stuff.
not like I dislike Coulson.
yeah.
It's just like it's a show whose concept just doesn't grip me. I would rather see a show that has more. There's so many more interesting characters from Marvel that they could do a show about.
Yeah.
So,
Like
that's
Ghost
what I'm-
Rider.
Like Ghost Rider, sure. And Ghost Rider was a very good
Yeah.
part of that show.
Yeah, he did it. He was a very good job.
Well, that
Do
was
not
the
bring
Robbie
back Nick
Reyes
Cage.
version.
No Nick Cage.
No. The
He
guy who
did. He
played
made an
Ghost
excellent
Rider-
Spider-Man, though.
Okay.
Oh my god. He did make an excellent Spider-Man. No, Spider Noir.
Oh, I was really confused. I was like, wait, where was Nick Cage Spider-Man? I don't remember. Hi, my name is
Oh,
Peter
Into the
Parker.
Spider-Verse.
LJ. Gotta rewatch that movie, LJ.
Yeah, that was the plan after Biocraft.
The writing doesn't matter if the concept that the writing is based on isn't good. Like
If-
you can write your heart out, but if the premise is boring,
Yeah,
your show is boring.
it has to be a good story.
I
It
do
has
agree.
to be a story worth telling.
Yes.
I do agree with Meso here. I despise blanket dismissals based on genre or storytelling structure. I do feel like I'm obviously I already like Shield. I've seen all of Shield. I've watched all Netflix shows. I'm in.
I'm so bummed.
So I'm obviously going to watch all of these at some point,
Yeah.
somewhere along the line. However, I see both sides. I just don't know if there's necessarily. I don't know. I don't really think I've heard a really good middle ground solution.
We just don't know.
You can find plenty of TV shows and plenty of movies that are extremely well written, and people poured their hearts out trying to make it as good of a product as possible. But unfortunately, it gets completely forgotten because the concept is just not that gripping and not that interesting. There's plenty of it. So, good writing
Agent
is
Carter.
not enough.
I think Agent Carter suffered from that.
Exactly. Yeah, Agent Carter suffered from that. It
Like,
was
she did
a
great
very good
character,
show.
But it got
It just
you know,
wasn't
boring.
interesting.
To
Yeah.
be fair, yeah, I have not seen Agent Carter. I did not watch any
Oh,
of that.
Yeah,
it
it's
started off
completely
so
forgotten.
strong, but then it kind of went off the side.
It didn't have a story to tell. It was well written, but there just wasn't anything there.
I don't think I ever finished the second season.
I didn't finish the second season either.
Second season didn't finish
So
the second season.
that's why for me, like, sure, I want good writing in my shows as well. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because Mess is talking about how all he cares about is good writing. That's all he wants out of the show. That's not all I want. I want good writing and a gripping concept and a gripping story.
The full
and cool
package.
characters. The full package. I need a
Yeah.
good show.
They have to deliver in order for it to work.
Yeah, and I just from the concepts they've given us so far, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. I think it's just going to contribute to fatigue and general negativity towards the MCU. So
You know what I would like to see going into like a whole second life or whatever fight phase or whatever we want to call it? Like this time around, it was ultimately Thanos in the end. This time around, I want to see Doctor Doom, especially now that Disney has Fox.
I would love to see Doctor Doom
yeah.
actually treated well.
Yeah,
For once.
that'd be really cool. I
Yeah,
think
for
that
once.
if they're smart, that's what they're doing next.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom needs to be the
See,
next
okay.
Thanos.
There you go, right there. Now, if one of these TV shows was the Fantastic Four,
Oh yeah.
I would be hyped.
Oh yeah.
I would be very.
I feel
They're
like
probably
Fantastic
saving them
Four would
for
have
a
to be a
movie.
movie.
Yeah, they're probably saving that for a movie,
I don't
and then they would have to
know.
like do spin-offs with that. But
Some other
we've-
B team.
I feel like it's a little bit of a Spider-Man scenario. We've had the Fantastic Four film like 3 different times.
See, I actually
might
think
treat
Spider-Man
it
would work
like that.
better as a
Yeah,
TV show.
but those weren't.
yeah,
Well, no, my point is,
Tom
at this
Holland
point, do we really need another Fantastic Four movie? Because I agree with Spider-Man
Yes,
being
we
a
do.
TV.
we need another.
Yes, we
Fantastic
need
Four
one
movie,
that's
never-
MCU
we've never-
canon.
We've never
But
had
not-
a Fantastic Four
but
movie.
not an origin.
We've had a bunch
movie.
of trash movies that are titled the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
We've never had a Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
We do not need an origin movie. We need a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, like they did with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had plenty of Spider-Man movies. Plenty of great movies that have
Well,
been about
they
Spider-Man.
might have to do an origin because we haven't even heard of them in the MCU. Like there would be
Yeah,
a
the
big
same
deal.
thing with
They would-
Spider-Man, though.
Well, Spider-Man was like he just kind of appeared in
Spider-Man
New
works
York
because
City.
he's just a kid who.
But
has,
those are
his
like
own small thing, you know.
Yeah, I do. I
Like,
do think Fantastic
Mr.
Four. needs-
Fantastic is kind of like a big deal, right? Like he's a big scientist or something. So
He
Yeah.
is.
Well, and
for him-
especially
for them to come out under the rug just from nowhere would just be kind of weird.
It's the
They
same with
might
the
have
X-Men.
to.
especially
Yeah,
if
difficult
Doctor
to
Doom
understand.
was going to be the new, arch nemesis, then yeah, you'd have to have some kind of origin.
So the X-Men are actually
X-Men,
really well set up at the moment. I think they
Yeah.
work very well in the MCU, especially if you've seen S.H.I.E.L.D., because they have the Inhumans framework
Yeah.
set up. All they would need to do is just suggest that had something to do with mutations, and boom, you have instant X-Men.
Well, see, it works for. That's why I'm saying like X-Men and Fantastic Four could be TV shows, but does it really work as a movie?
I don't know
Like,
if
how
the
would you
X-Men work.
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you explain like an X-Men movie franchise that exists in the MCU by saying that the Inhuman thing ties
Yeah,
into
I
that
don't
if
think
the
they can do
Inhumans have never been a plot point in the
Yeah.
films?
Oh gosh, well, I guess they did always call them enhanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the closest thing we got, I guess, is no. Even then, no. I was about to say Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but
Those are
they're
the
not
enhanced, yeah.
yeah.
They were experimented on.
Yeah. So you'd have to go through some roundabout ways to explain the X-Men.
Yeah.
I
And
still think you
unfortunately,
could.
they all have to be recast, which is a shame.
So
No, that's fine. I don't care.
here like the one thing that you could do to make like you can make Inhumans work because Inhumans have an inherent like a smallness to their like ranks, I guess, like most Inhumans don't have powers because they have to be exposed to the mist, right? So that explains why there's not Inhumans everywhere, why everybody doesn't have powers. And also the people that do have powers, there's only a few of them, right? So it makes sense that they haven't been major players in any big events because one, they're small in ranks, and two, they don't want their existence to really be like a big deal. Cool. X-Men, it's harder though because X-Men are mutants. And the whole point of the X-Men is that they're fighting for mutant rights, basically. Like mutants exist within society, and they're terrorized, they're oppressed, and the X-Men is like a safe haven for mutants. You can't really do that in the MCU because mutants haven't been established as a concept.
Yeah.
So unless something happens that infects the world, I guess maybe that brings mutants up, I guess they could do something like that.
So that's kind of the thing they already have set up, because
Thanos starts the mutants right before he dies.
Not a possibility, honestly. So the way Inhumans are set up right now in Marvel is so the Kree came down very early on in human civilization. They messed with a few things, and so the descendants of the Kree messed with humans are Inhumans, and so they have latent powers. And these are unlocked when they come into contact with a particular substance or certain substances that are also
the Terrigen Mist.
Exactly. And so they had it set up to where a bunch of these crystals ended up in the ocean. They started kind of going through the ocean stream. And so you just had these people kind of popping up everywhere, having their powers unlocked through a variety of different means, coming into contact with that. So it's set up for what you're already suggesting, which is why you can't have this come up. It's just going to take a little bit of
that
covering.
That's set up in the TV show though. But
but that's like the groundwork's already there to bring it to the movies, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so, because you would have to explain that in the movies. That's what I'm getting at, is that it'd be one thing if we saw the Kree like dumping stuff into the water or messing with people in the films, like that was a plot point or something, but that hasn't been. So you'd have to explain that whole concept, and it's going to confuse a lot of people as to why there's a bunch of superheroes existing that have just never done anything before. Like it has to tie into the narrative of the films for it to make sense. Like it makes sense if like Thanos or the Avengers unsnapping people into the world unleashes like this plague that gives people powers. Because then people will be able to understand that because they saw the movie where Thanos snapped everybody, so they know that he messed with things. But we don't. The film audience doesn't know that the Kree have been experimenting on people this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because that was never established.
I think this is a pretty simple explanation that can be taken care of pretty succinctly in a film. I'm not even suggesting. See, you don't even need to go that in depth into the concept to get it done. It's like you don't need to go in depth into the concept of a meteorite crashing down into Africa and creating Wakanda. You know, it's done pretty succinctly, and then I'm not even suggesting you need to do it in one film. Make it gradual. You know, make it a very gradual process. Like in what if in Far From Home we find out that Mysterio isn't actually just this really talented magician, but he does have some form of powers because he's an Inhuman. It starts introducing the concept. You build it up gradually and get people accustomed to it, and then you're able to full on bring in the X-Men after all these years of civil unrest in the other films.
Well, I mean, yeah, so that works. That under the premise that they're introducing the X-Men over time.
Yeah, of course.
I guess for whatever reason, I would like expecting like, oh, the X-Men are going to be like here in like 2 years.
Yeah, no. So, and that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a framework that you can introduce naturally because it's been tested in the shows, and so you can naturally introduce it into the films over time. Like, some X-Men are going to just have to be around for a very long time. Logan is just going to have to exist. But it works for Logan because he's a recluse. He doesn't like to be in the public. He can just exist through time as he always has, just as a quiet fellow.
As a quiet fellow.
You know, just kind of... Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of his nature. You know, he just goes through, he does things. He keeps pretty low-key.
It does the fact that you mentioned Logan, it does bring up some issues with the X-Men. Like certain characters might not be able to exist, or their origins would have to be completely rewritten. Because like
Which is
Telecon just mentioned it. Magneto's a Holocaust survivor. That's intrinsic to his character. That's why he is the way he is.
Yes, and he would have to.
He would basically have to
still
just
be
not.
that way.
He could.
Yeah.
Do we know when Magneto unlocked his powers? Or...
Well, mutants always had their powers.
Oh, that's right. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
It's like puberty. Like it kind of comes in gradually. Like some get it earlier than others, some get it late, but they always have it. Like Logan could withdraw his claws like
always
age 9, I guess, or 6 or something. You know.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
So. Yeah. Jean also had her powers really early on. So.
There are some. I mean, honestly, it would not surprise me if they rewrote Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to, because with X-Men, there's generations of mutants. There are mutants that have existed in the past and present. So, like Magneto and Xavier, their entire characters are based on the fact that they are aged. Like, they're wise mutants who have gone through the horrors of oppression, right? And that's part of their characters.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones leading the new generation of mutants, but you can't really do that if all mutants are the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
They also have to take into account that we already have all those movies. Like, it would be just beating a dead horse if they do it again, even though we already kind of know what their characters are, since we've had movies of them in it like the past 10 years.
But we haven't had a Jubilee movie.
Okay, you're done. Bye. No, get out of here. No.
But they have to do this carefully.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're working out all the details right now, like who they're going to introduce, how they're going to introduce them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's
you know what?
Very careful. It isn't like introducing Spider-Man.
We just don't know what they're planning.
Just don't know.
We just don't know.
Okay.
It's gotta be the name of this podcast.
You never
please.
will.
They
Oh,
just don't
come
know.
on. No. Ben, we're almost done. You didn't need to do this.
It is I, the time-traveling Ven, here to alter canon and
You
end this
came,
episode a few minutes early.
My God. Hey, Ben.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, how's it going?
So, what's your opinions on Faber,
Why would
the
you
Star Wars
ask
thing?
him that? We're about to
Dude,
wrap
I
up.
can knock this out. I can knock this out in like a couple seconds. Boom. Christian Faber, I'm excited, man. You got my support. I hope it goes through. I hope
Star
it
Wars.
goes through. Star Wars. Title's kind of stupid, but I'm still kind of intrigued anyway. So they got my money.
Disney
Therefore,
Plus.
Disney's winning. Yeah, like I said, Disney's winning.
Marvel TV shows.
They got my money already. I told you. Disney's
Do you
winning.
know? But do you know?
Ben's that positive force that was missing this entire episode.
Entire time.
We've been crapping all over all of this stuff. This whole
Dude,
thing.
I know. I probably would have crapped on it too, but at the same time, I would have been like, I'm still gonna watch.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Like, there's no way I'm gonna avoid the Loki show forever. That thing's gonna catch up with me.
I hate that this counts as an appearance.
It's
for
gonna
you.
sneak on me.
Lion King. Lion King.
Okay, the Lion King.
Lion
is-
King. Oh yeah.
Why-
Lion King.
That's a
Look-
whole other
looks
can of
pretty-
worms.
Yeah.
Conversation.
That's a.
Lion King looks cool. I wish the trailers showed a little bit more color. I'm not with the
Lion
whole. I'm not with the whole emote thing because people are. I feel like that's
We haven't seen it.
whatever. Anyway,
We haven't
I
seen
just
the
feel like
movie.
that's whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the
I'm-
movie.
People are
I
blowing
feel
that out
like
of
people
proportion.
are kind of like
I'm-
digging for reasons to hate this movie,
Yeah.
and that's like one of them. Like, really, do you care that much about a lion smiling? Like, no,
I
no,
do.
you don't. You don't care.
Very
It's
important
not
to
like
me.
that was one of the things that was praised about the original Lion King. What did you watch the original Lion King for? Because you were a kid and you wanted to see lions do stuff. Then that's what's gonna happen in this movie. You
I
didn't
know.
watch Lion King to see Simba smile
I'm gonna
and
be
then
honest.
frown.
No.
Maybe I did. I watched
will-
it for the art style.
I will say the emoting is a big aspect of that film, especially
Yeah.
with Mufasa's death. So
Yeah.
it will depend how they handle it. But here's Here's the thing: the movie hasn't come out yet, so we just don't know.
We just don't know.
I am.
Yeah, I mean,
We just
that's
don't
I am
fine. I get
terrified
it.
of this
I
Lion
totally
King
understand why the characters emoting is a deal. I just don't get how all of a sudden it's a bigger deal. Like it meant, like people are talking about it like it meant their whole lives to them.
It's
that
because
lions
it takes a lot
could
of the
emote.
character out of the characters. That's why it's a big deal.
I understand why that's a deal, but again, it's to the extent that people are talking about it. It's
You know what's funny is that The Lion King is like the one thing that I'm kind of like siding with more of a positive spin on it versus everything else. Meanwhile, Meso is over here in the chat completely just like crapping all over it.
Yeah, I know. I like. Okay, Meso. Since when did you care about Lion King?
I'm
So much.
completely at odds with Meso's opinion on everything right now.
This is amazing.
I'm actually terrified of this movie
You should
because of how real it is and knowing what we have to watch in this movie. Like,
It'll
I'm
be-
terrified of what Hakuna Matata could be, as much as I'm terrified of what Dead Mufasa would look like.
Well, I'm gonna Hayley. I know
Oh,
you're
Dead
really looking
Mufasa
forward to
would be
this,
very.
but I am gonna
I'll say
spoil
that.
this
Because Dead
for you.
Mufasa in the old
Right.
movie and like the original one looked like he was sleeping.
I mean,
This one, he's
I'm
going
gonna-
to be trampled on.
I'm gonna.
So
I'll
what would
spoil
he
this
look
for
like
you,
if he was-
Hayley.
it'll still probably just be him just kind of laying there. To be honest,
He's gonna look like a dead lion. Oh no, I'm sorry.
He's just
It's
gonna
just
lie
gonna,
there.
you know what?
If you're
it's
gonna
just,
do
gonna,
it right,
it's just gonna
and
be a
it's
lion
just-
lying there.
And there's just gonna be a dentist with a rifle standing in the background.
You know what movie we need to?
This is live action. They got to do it. They got to sell it. He's got to be trampled on.
You know what movie we all need to sync view is what's it called? It's on
Nice.
Netflix.
Very well
Oh,
done.
that movie.
I love that
Yeah, that
movie.
the Netflix movie.
I literally just said the
We-
title.
We just don't know.
I just said the title. You guys talked over me. I can't believe you. You
Don't
trampled me like they trampled
What is it?
Mufasa.
What's the movie?
Mowgli, Mowgli,
Mowgli.
suck
Oh, that
up.
was a terrible
Mowgli.
movie.
Don't say anything.
No, wait.
I want the
No,
rest
I'm
of them
sorry.
to
I'm
watch
sorry.
it.
I was thinking of The Jungle Book.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Okay.
That was a terrible movie. Never saw Mowgli.
So first of all,
Oh yeah,
guys,
we gotta watch Mowgli.
I'm sorry, but we're not watching Lion King in theaters at Brick Fair. It's not happening.
Aww.
If I want to
Well,
watch
we gotta
The
watch-
Lion
Is it gonna?
We gotta
Is it
watch
gonna be
Toy
out
Story
that time?
4
yeah, it's out in
theaters.
July.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
so-
we're gonna go see it. What
We're
are you
not.
talking
No,
about?
we're not.
I
We
just
are going to see
I
it.
think if we were to see that movie, we would see
I-
that one.
so I can't actually post this in
Or
sponsor
Spider-Man.
chat or show it in the video, but
Okay.
I gotta show you guys this stupid
Alright.
thing I just saw on Twitter.
If we don't see it over there, you're gonna have to explain that to Sam.
Look,
Oh my God. No.
there's layers to this image, dude. Like I read the tweet, and I was like, huh. But then I read the name, and I was like, oh.
look at it. It keeps getting better every time I look at it.
There's so many details here that I
All
just.
right. So
I can't tell what's going on in the picture.
I will
It's just the scene from
censor
the trailer where Kylo's like stabbing someone.
I will censor
Oh.
the picture so we can show it. But in the
Huh.
meantime,
Man, that's funny.
if I don't want to watch live action, okay, CG animated Lion King in theaters, because if I wanted to watch The Lion King, I'd watch it now.
Yeah.
I don't need darker, realistic Lion King.
I will gain all my respect
Yeah,
back in
that's
the
fair.
Oscars if they nominate this Lion King for Best Animated Picture. Because I think they can do that.
I don't. Okay, see, that has no bearing on me. But I just don't want to see like everything we. Maybe they're gonna do something different. Maybe there'll be a twist. But I've seen the live action Beauty and the Beast. There was no twist. It was slightly different from the actual animation. But with this, there are actual frame per frame comparisons to the original. And it just has all of the character and atmosphere and energy just kind of just pulled out of it to look photorealistic. Thank you, Princess, for that term. I forgot that was how it's described. I don't want to see that in theaters. I feel like there are other movies we would have a better time watching then The Lion King.
What else is
Spider-Man.
gonna be out at the time?
Spider-Man.
Hobbs and Shaw is going to be
Right?
out in theaters. Spider-Man will be, but we're all going to see that well before we go to break.
Yeah, I will have
Okay.
seen it by then.
The Dora the Explorer movie, which unfortunately is not done by Michael Bay, is going to be in theaters.
For now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, guys, we gotta see Dora the Explorer.
We have to.
Out of
Oh my god.
out of those movies, Dora, Hobbs and Shaw, and Lion King, I would rather watch Lion King so far. But go on.
That's
I
like- it has to
am
be
definitely not interested in seeing Hobbs and Shaw. That looks like such a trash.
Yeah,
movie.
I'm not interested in that.
really. That looked hilarious.
We had 8
hang on,
movies
hang on,
of that, LJ.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them.
You're talking about. Oh, if I want to see Lion King,
I didn't see
I'll
any
just
of
go
those
watch
movies.
If I want to see
I
The
didn't
Rock,
watch any of that franchise.
well, go watch them.
But I don't want
The
to.
same thing. They're all fast and they're all furious, just like me. Oh my god!
They're all fast, they're all furious. What?
Ben, you don't understand how the movie's gonna be, because we just don't know.
We just don't know. We just don't know.
We just don't
Let's
know.
all say it together.
8 times.
We just don't know.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
gonna be driving, they're gonna be shooting, they're gonna be punching, and they're gonna be one-lining.
Why is
And I'm not
cracking?
gonna be
Rock.
standing in a line to see these stupid
Okay.
things.
Okay, we've been over this.
Like
We've been
Transformers.
we've been over this a few different times, but I'll look at this again. All right, so August, right? Okay, July, July 2019 is Spider-Man: Far From Home, which we're all. He's dead. He died.
I think you killed him.
He killed himself. I had nothing to do with that. Nah, guys, he's just...
They're all fast.
And then dies.
That's like
Rip Ben. He was too fast and furious.
He's too fast, too furious.
this podcast sped him along to his untimely demise.
Double F for
Except-
Fast and Furious.
I live.
Oh my gosh. All right, so Ven, we have Spider-Man: Far From Home in July. We're already all going to see that. We have Lion King on the 19th of July. We have Dora the Explorer on 31st. In August,
We
okay,
should see Dora on the day it comes out.
I mean, hypothetically,
We all
yes.
go and they're like,
So-
you're gonna see Dora, like, oh, we're all huge Dora the Explorer fans. Vamanos, everyone, to the theater.
I might die. Friday, August 2nd.
I really want to see Dora.
Do you know where the ticket stand is? Point it out.
Dora seems like the most fun time out of them all, personally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We just, like, sit in the back of the theater and laugh at the whole time.
Hobbs and Shaw's
Yeah,
coming out on the
maybe.
2nd, along with an apparently... Okay, Disney has said...
Detective Pikachu. Oh, we're gonna be time coming.
will not be in theaters by the time we're there.
Which one?
Pikachu. Pikachu will not be
Yeah,
in
that's
theaters.
in.
Aw,
That's May 10th,
man.
right?
Yeah, I don't.
Darn.
It's early. New Mutants is apparently still a thing that comes out on August 2nd.
That's a horror movie. No, thank you.
I forgot. Oh, that's the only one though. Dang it. That's. Oh wait, no. Okay, we're gonna be gone by that time. All right. The greatest injustice that has been done to us as of late has definitely been the fact that the Playmobil movie, or the Playmobil movie, it comes out on August 16th, 2 weeks after we leave.
Dang.
Rip.
I'm so disappointed.
Like we were gonna see that over Dora.
There's a Playmobil movie. What? Why?
There's a trailer. Have you not seen it?
Oh yeah.
There's a trailer?
Apparently not.
Have you not seen this?
All right,
oh my
everyone.
God, we have
I
to
didn't
see
know this
this.
was a thing.
I am a man of good tastes,
Oh.
You know.
so I only watch trailers for dumb Star Wars movies.
All right, we're gonna have to go ahead and watch this. We're gonna wrap up anyway because we need to see this trailer. All right.
Oh, it's so.
Does anyone have anything else they want to impart upon everyone before we go and wrap up?
I'm Prpl.
Yeah,
Very well done, Purple.
I'm
That's
Ben.
purple.
Very well
Watch
done.
Danganronpa.
Okay.
D2.
So let's get the plugs out of the way. Obviously enough. This has been TTV Podcast. We do have a Patreon, and it's in the description below. You can pay as low as $1 a month, price of a pencil. to be a part of our live Patreon server on Discord. It's always a fun time, and you can get access to a bunch of different memes. Courtesy of
Almost always a fun time.
courtesy of
Don't
the
forget
kind,
to buy your shirt.
for the kind people. I'm getting everything. Patreon.
Oh yeah, don't forget to join our Patreon.
Oh! Oh my gosh, LJ, we forgot. Weren't we supposed to talk about the music?
Getting to that! Gosh dang it! Fine!
This sounds really fast and really furious. Right?
We totally forgot to talk about the music.
No! We didn't! Ah!
Did we forget or did we not? We just don't know.
We just don't know.
And we never will.
Okay.
Anyway, this has been the TTV.
Shut your mouth! You might be Messo's girlfriend, Hayley, but you're not Messo today!
Dude, every time I see her with the name MGH, I can't help but think Machine Gun Hayley.
Okay.
That's me in Destiny.
Anyway, we have the Patreon. Also, if you're listening to this live, last chance to get Biocraft Chronicles shirts. They are going to be going out of production for a little bit tomorrow. So if you're listening to this as it's been released after the live stream, you're not going to have a chance to get one for at least quite a few months. Certainly 4 months. Or maybe not 4.
If you're going to Brick Fair, you need to pick up this shirt, because we're all going to wear it. It's going to be great.
I can't say we're all going to wear it, but it's going to be excellent.
We're all going to wear it. What are you talking about?
In addition...
Do you not like your own movie?
Of course I like my own movie, Ven. Uh-oh. Thank you.
Wow! Look at this guy right here.
Listen.
Messed
moving
up all
too
over the
fast, and he
place.
made Ben furious.
Funnily enough, he said "wow" just like Messo would have.
Wow!
I thought it would have been more like, wow. Wait, no, that's all else.
That's definitely not Messo.
Are they not the same person? Additionally,
That's a
over the
whole
week,
different person.
we did release the soundtrack for Biocraft Chronicles. You can find it on most of the music streaming websites. Keep in mind, one of the tracks is listed as explicit. It doesn't have lyrics.
Yeah, Barb
Yeah,
didn't fix that.
There's no explicit songs in the track, so
Yeah,
just ignore that.
It's all family friendly. It's all fine. It's all excellent. Ven did.
Like, is
They're
that
all
flag based on some
instrumental.
sort of algorithm or
Algorithm?
what?
I have
Algorithm?
literally no idea what happened. So
Yeah, but
I have
everything's
no idea
wonderful.
why it's like that.
You can go get that over on, I think Google Music or Apple Music rather. Well, that's just.
I mean, you can
iTunes.
get it on anything. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on YouTube Music. You can get it on Apple.
Is it
You
on
can get it
Bandcamp?
on-
Oh, you can get it on Amazon? That's awesome.
It is not on Bandcamp.
Aw,
We are going to be releasing.
It is on Spotify.
Oh.
yeah.
We will release the covers. That's taking a little more time, but that is in the pipeline. But
So here's the thing with the covers is that Heroes isn't even finished. We only made half of the song specifically for the credits. So there isn't a full version to get yet.
There's a full demo, but it's not finished.
yeah,
So
We gotta touch it up a good bit.
yeah, so it's still got some work to be done before it's gonna go out to distribution. Same with Move Along. There's still some touch-ups that need to be done to that as well in the vocal department. So neither of those songs are finished at the moment, and also we do have to send them off to our distributor to get the license for those covers before we can put them up for sale. So that's going to take a few weeks. So you guys will probably get that maybe next month. It might be a bit longer.
Mhm.
So we'll obviously keep you updated, but right now they're not available.
yeah. But again, obviously enough, it's in the pipeline. And in the meantime, the rest of the soundtrack is up on all of those aforementioned sites, and it's really good. It's excellent. Obviously, we're biased, but we also think it's excellent, unbiasedly.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Destiny's the best song on the track. Listen to that.
If only it was the best game in
Also a
the
really good game.
industry.
Jinx.
All right. Outside of that, we're pretty much all done. I'll get the music up now. So, please don't be loud. That was close. All right. Thank you all so very much for listening to TTV Podcast 315. I'm Eljay.
I'm Var.
I'm Prpl.
I'm Messo's girlfriend Hayley.
I'm Ben.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
That actually went
Hayley.
pretty well.
You need your own identity outside of Meso. Come on now.
Yeah, Meso doesn't define you.
Yeah, Hayley. You're your own independent woman.
TTV Talks Relationships Part 37.
You do not need Meso.
Thank you all so very much. We will hopefully see you again next week.
We just don't know.
We just don't know.
We just don't know.